So, if you recognize that, it's the beginning of Igor's theme from Tyler the Creator's Igor's theme from the album Igor, Grammy winner from 2019. So I'd like to go back to that album and break down that bass sound. I thought it might be interesting to take a more contemporary sound for a change and show you how to make that on almost any synth. And one thing I realized is I had to figure out what synth I wanted to make it on, because when I listened to it, I thought it was using digital oscillators because of the way that the inside of the sound was kind of chorusing. You kind of had a pattern to it. But sometimes you can't be sure when you're working with these, sounds from modern albums, if it came from a VST synth, or if it was from, a reissue synth, or if it was from a Euro rack, or from a vintage synth. So I have vintage synths, so I tried it out on a couple synths, and I heard that Tyler used a JX3P and a JX8P. So I went to the Jupiter 8, only to find out that on a Jupiter 8, I can make the sound, but I can't play the rest of the notes because the Jupiter 8 won't go low enough. And then I made the sound on an Oberheim OBX, and I found out the same thing, that it doesn't go low enough, And I've had these synths in front of me for years, decades. And I didn't, I never really think about how low do they go. Well, the Prophet 5 does go down to those notes. So I played that opening for you on the Prophet 5. Now, I don't think Tyler used the Prophet 5. It doesn't sound exactly like that. I think it was probably a VST synth. I noticed the sounds in stereo, but I'm going to show you how you can do it on almost any synth. And you can get close enough. And the idea for these videos is so that you can make the sounds that are in your head, really, and that are tailored to the songs that you're working on. Because an iconic sound is only as good as the iconic song that it's in. So remember that. When you're making, spend your time making iconic songs, and then the sounds will follow. And I'm here to just sort of support you guys and show you the techniques that I've learned over the years so that you can make sounds with personality, that when you put them in your iconic songs, you're going to have iconic sounds too that other people are going to want to copy. So let's start with this sound on the Prophet 5 from Igor's theme by Tyler the Creator. I listen to it, and what's the first thing I hear? Well, I listen to the pitch, it's low. I hear that it's mostly sawtooth waveforms because I don't hear the quality of a square wave. And I'll cover this in my educational videos, like how to really hear the difference between square waves and sawtooths. But at this point, sawtooths are brighter, square waves are more hollow and have a little more fundamental. This is kind of a ripping sound. So I hear sawtooths, I hear that it's in octaves, and I hear that it's really not filtered that much. It's almost raw sawtooth waveforms. And then I hear the sound has chorusing in it. So let's take it one part at a time. A sawtooth waveform from oscillator 1. I click the button, hear a sawtooth. It's in unison mode, so you can hear it's more than one sawtooth. It's 8. That's one sawtooth. Then I added an octave above from oscillator 2, sawtooth waveform. Balanced about equally in terms of level. And do you hear that little bit of chorusing? That's coming from oscillator 2, fine tune control, giving it a little bit of chorusing. And I'm essentially just detuning the sound. And I've talked about this before. Most bass sounds that I make, I don't intentionally detune them unless I favor the tuned oscillator, because I like it to be in tune because everybody's playing against the bass. Makes me a little nervous. But in this case, it's a featured sound, so you can just go, there's always exceptions to the rule. And this really kicks butt, this sound, hearing the ripping from the waveforms and the unison mode and the little bit of detune. So back to where we were. Both oscillators at equal volume, a little bit of detune. Pop it into chorus mode, so you're shredding. And then it's as simple as the filter cutoff frequency. You can see I maxed out the initial cutoff frequency, and I needed more. So I added a little more brightness. You can hear that slight bit of extra brightness by adding some sustained voltage in the filter and then modulating the filter a little bit more with that sustained voltage. And then I'm just gating it. VCA, sustain voltage up all the way. and it just goes to the VCA and plays it out. Comparing it to the Jupiter 8, pretty similar. I kind of prefer the Prophet. Let's go a little more routine. But if you want to play the line, you have no choice. Now, if you were to MIDI control these synthesizers, you could probably get down there, but playing them from the keyboard voltage only allows you to go so low. Prophet will go all the way down to there. So think ahead. When you're making sounds, you can model sounds after these, great sounds, but one of the things that makes this sound so special is that it's all by itself at the beginning of the song. And then this great drum beat comes in, and then you've had a chance to really just have this tone ripping through your ears. He finally moves, and then he gets off of it. So it's creative. It's not just the bass plowing through the whole thing. And then when the bass stops, it allows the bass to come back in again. And as dramatic as the intro was, because you're hearing this bass come from nothing, you hear this great beat that you can focus on. And then when the bass comes back again, it's like another chance to hear that bass coming in fresh. So very good drama, really powerful sound, great track by Tyler, the Creator, Grammy winner 2019. Hope you enjoyed this breakdown. Thank you for following me on social media. I love synthesizers so much, so it's my pleasure to make these videos for you. If you'd like more of these videos, please like and subscribe on this channel.